Well, hello everybody, it's Eduardo again, and today I'm going to teach you about Instagram niches and why understanding their phases is so important when it comes to growing your Instagram account. Now, what exactly is an Instagram niche? A niche, in its most basic sense, is simply a topic that people want to create content about on Instagram. For example, let's say you want to create ceramics related content. You would be in the ceramic niche on Instagram. Let's say you want to create enamel pin content. You would be in the enamel pin niche. Let's say you want to create fashion content. You would be in the fashion niche. And all of these broad topics or niches also have subtopics or what are called sub-niches. Let's say, for example, you want to focus on creating content exclusively about wheel-thrown pottery on Instagram. You would be in the wheel-thrown pottery sub-niche or subtopic within the larger niche or topic of ceramics. And there can be an almost infinite number of subtopics or sub-niches within a broad niche. There can also be almost an infinite number of niches or topics that people want to create content about on Instagram. Now, how do people form part of a niche? Well, all niches and all sub-niches have usually one or a small handful of hashtags that aggregate the content about that niche. So for example, you want to create content about a particular niche, you use one of those main hashtags on your content to be surfaced to the people that are searching for the hashtag that want to consume content about that particular niche. And all niches have a particular size, and also all of them share the commonality that they have a particular lifespan. So all niches in general have a point where they are created, they have a point where they grow, they have a time where they mature, they also have a time when they decline. And how large the niche or sub-niche is, as well as which phase it is in of its lifespan, can really affect the likelihood that you'll be able to grow your account by creating content about that particular topic or niche. Now, there's ways to measure how large a niche is as well as what phase it's in. Let me show you how you can do that, as well as an example that can help illustrate. So the way you measure the size of a niche is actually pretty simple and easy. You do that by measuring the number of posts within the main hashtag of the niche, and also by measuring the size of the following of the most popular account of that niche. The larger the number of posts in the main hashtag and the larger the size of the following of the most popular account, the larger the niche is and also the more saturated it is. The tricky bit here is being able to accurately find the main hashtag of a niche and the most popular account, but if you do enough research, you'll eventually find it. A generally good indicator of what the main hashtag is simply the hashtag that has the largest number of posts in that niche and that the majority of the people use in that niche as well. Now let's look at an example. So let's look at the niche of art dolls. That's a particular topic that people like to create content about on Instagram. And I did a bit of research, and the main hashtag in that niche is hashtag art doll. So let's search for the hashtag on Instagram. Go to my hashtags. And here I have the hashtag art doll. This is where you measure how many posts are in a hashtag. So this hashtag has 1.2 million posts in it. And I also did my research on who the most popular account in the hashtag is. In this case is Awesome Oso. I'm going to search for them. They're here. This account has 148,000 followers. So the size of this niche is 1.2 million posts in the hashtag, and the popular account has around 150,000 followers. Once you see this number, you realize that the size of a niche can only be measured relative to the size of other niches. So let's look up another niche and see how it compares. The account that I have, Pottery for All, is in the ceramics niche, so let's search that one. This is the most popular hashtag in the niche, and as you can see, it has a little bit over 13 million posts in it. And I actually run one of the most popular accounts within the ceramics niche, and that's Pottery for All. Here you can tell it has a little bit over 380,000 followers, more than double the size of the most popular account within the art doll niche. So it's a safe bet to say that the ceramics niche is at least 5 times bigger on Instagram than the art dolls niche. Now let's measure the size of a third niche. I also have an account in the cacao ceremony niche, and the main hashtag of that niche is cacao ceremony. As you can tell, the main hashtag of this niche has almost 100,000 posts in it. That's much less than the main hashtag of the art doll niche and the main hashtag of the ceramic niche. And one of the most popular accounts in this niche is one called Cacao Ceremony, and they have almost 30,000 followers, which is a small fraction of the largest account in the art doll niche and the ceramics niche. Alrighty, so now that you know how to measure the size of a niche, you can use that information to identify which phase your particular niche is in. So all niches and all sub-niches on Instagram go through the exact same life cycle of 4 phases. They're introduced, they grow, they mature, and they also decline. And being able to understand the characteristics of these phases, as well as being able to identify which of those phases your particular niche is in, is super important, because which phase your niche is in is going to greatly determine the likelihood that you'll be able to grow your account in that niche regardless of what you do. So let's spend some time understanding these phases, what you can do to grow in each of the phases, as well as how you can identify which of them your niche is in. A way that helps me understand niche phases is visualizing them through a simple graph like this one. So the first phase of a niche is the introductory phase. Usually a niche that's an introductory phase is a niche about a topic that's pretty esoteric. So a small number of people are in it, and they are very passionate about the content that's being created about it. In these sort of niches, the content isn't generally very polished. It's just casual accounts creating content for the joy of it. The way you measure if a niche is an introductory phase is that generally the main hashtag of that niche has between 1,000 and 300,000 posts in it, and the most popular account has between 1,000 and around 50,000 followers. The key to growing an account in an introductory phase niche is simply being in the niche, and also it being a niche that's likely to grow in the future. Those are pretty hard to find. But if you are in an introductory phase niche, what you need to do to grow, if you're not growing yet, is to simply improve your content quality and be more active within the community. All right, so the next phase is a growth phase. In a growth phase niche, as you can tell, the number of people that are in the niche greatly increases quickly. What was once a very small esoteric topic now starts becoming popular. The community grows rapidly, and professional content creators start entering the niche in order to try and capture some of that audience growth. The content quality is high because professional content creators are competing with established accounts to capture that audience by creating really good high quality content. So the key to growth here is being one of the accounts that creates the highest quality content and is the most differentiated when compared to the most popular accounts in the niche. The more unique and valuable your content is at this stage, the more likely you are to be one of the accounts that grows the fastest. This means that it's also harder to grow in a growth phase niche in comparison to introductory phase niche. And the way you measure if it's a growth phase niche is by checking the hashtags. The hashtags usually have between 300,000 and 1 million posts in it. The most popular accounts have between 50,000 and 500,000 followers. Again, these are just rough estimates, but they are helpful. The next phase is the maturity phase. In a niche that's in this phase, the rate of growth of the community really plateaus because the topic simply isn't as popular as it was before, or the people that were going to be interested in it are already in the niche. In a niche that's in this phase, usually the accounts that became the most popular in the growth phase are now the largest accounts, and it's much harder for a new account with average content that's entering the niche to grow an audience to a degree in which they can build a small business or monetize that audience. Also, the content of the niche in this phase tends to feel commodified and standardized, as the new accounts that are entering the niche are simply trying to copy the style of the most popular accounts in the growth phase in order to try and capture some of the audience. The key to growth when you're in a mature phase niche is either creating the highest quality content within the niche, which is going to be very difficult because there's already a lot of competition and there's already a lot of established, very popular accounts. So for most people, the best course of action is going to be to pivot into a sub niche that's either in an introductory phase or growth phase, because you'll simply just have a much higher likelihood there to be able to grow in comparison to a niche that's already mature and very saturated. And lastly is a niche in the decline phase. At this stage, a large part of the audience that was excited about the topic in the growth phase and maturity phase simply stops being excited about the topic and they leave the niche. They stop following the hashtags, they stop following the accounts, A lot of content creators in the niche start losing followers, which you're seeing a lot of now on Instagram and many niches. The content quality here is pretty stale because it's usually the same type of content that's been done for a while now. In this phase, the most popular accounts have millions of followers and the hashtags have millions of posts in them. And the reality is that there's simply not much growth to be had. For mostly any of the accounts, even the most popular accounts start losing followers. So these are the 4 phases of a niche. An example of a niche in an introductory phase is the cacao ceremonies niche, which you can look up. A niche in the growth phase is the Artals niche. A niche in the maturity phase is likely the funny dogs video niche, for example. And a niche in the decline phase is likely the enamel pins niche, which is sad for me because I love that niche and I have an account that's part of it. But a lot of the accounts at this point are losing a lot of followers, not making many sales, which is a really good indicator that a niche is in the decline phase. Something important to remember is that sub-niches within a niche have their own life cycle as well as their own new opportunities to grow. Examples of that is, for example, in the ceramics niche, the minimal ceramics sub-niche has a lot less posts, so someone who wants to have an account that creates the best minimal ceramics niche likely has large probability to grow their account. Another example would be the kawaii ceramics niche. It's a very small niche in introductory phase. People who are in it love it. So it's a great opportunity as long as the niche grows in the future. And most importantly, it's good to remember that you can always create your own niche because the truth is there might be a lot of people wanting it and it just hasn't been created yet. So don't be afraid to explore. Lastly, I made a little table here, which I included in an article that I'll add in the description of the video. And lastly, just remember that this is not an exact science, but it's generally a worthwhile exercise if you've been struggling to grow your account. Try to figure out if you're in a niche that's mature or declining and pivot, or try to improve your content and your differentiation if you're in an introductory or growth niche in order to grow. So now that you know all about Instagram niches and their phases, make sure to spend some time trying to identify which phase your particular niche is in. Because no matter how good you think your content is or your products are, which phase your particular niche is in is going to greatly determine how likely you are to grow and monetize your account long term. And ultimately, this is super important because growing an account on Instagram takes up so much time and energy. And you don't want to waste that time and energy growing an account in a niche in which you're just simply very unlikely to grow regardless of what you do. So I really hope you find all that information valuable. If you do, please subscribe to my channel, give this video a good thumbs up. Please leave me a comment about this video or any other topic that you would like me to make videos about because I honestly love making these videos for you. It's a topic that I find infinitely interesting and I hope that you do too. So thanks for watching and see ya!